The Tirpitz was the second of the two Bismarck-class battleships built for the Kriegsmarine, the German Navy, prior to and during the Second World War. After a series of wartime modifications, she was 2,000 tons heavier than the Bismarck, making her the heaviest battleship ever built by a European navy. In early 1942, the ship sailed to Norway to act as a deterrent against a possible Allied invasion. While stationed in Norway, Tirpitz also intended to be used to intercept Allied convoys to the Soviet Union, and two such missions were attempted in 1942. Tirpitz basically acted as a fleet in being, a naval unit that extends a controlling influence without ever leaving port, forcing the British Royal Navy to retain significant naval forces in the area to contain the battleship. The British were determined to neutralize Tirpitz and remove the threat she posed to the Allied Arctic convoys. Following the repeated bombing attacks and a failed torpedo attack in October of 1942, the British turned to the newly designed X-craft Midget submarines. The planned attack, Operation Source, included attacks on Tirpitz and other large German battleships in Norway. The X-craft were towed by large British submarines to their destinations, where they could slip under anti-torpedo nets and each drop two powerful 2-ton mines onto the seabed under the target. 10 vessels were assigned to the operation, scheduled for late September of 1943. Only 8 of them reached the Alta Fjord in Norway for the attack, and only 3 of the vessels breached Tirpitz defenses successfully, 2 of which managed to lay their mines. These mines damaged the mighty German battleship extensively. In early 1945, the German Navy planned to copy the British plan and mount a very similar attack using its own mini-subs, the Bieber or Beaver. This was Operation Cäsar. Armed with 2 externally mounted torpedoes or mines, these German mini-subs were intended to attack coastal shipping. They were the smallest submarines of the German Navy. The Bieber was hastily developed to help meet the threat of an Allied invasion of Europe. This resulted in basic technical flaws that, combined with the inadequate training of their operators, meant that they never posed a real threat to Allied shipping, despite more than 300 submarines were delivered. Construction of the first prototype began in February of 1944 and was completed in less than 6 weeks. The training of the Bieber operators was originally planned to take 8 weeks, but the initial group of pilots was rushed through in just 3 weeks. Planning also called for flotillas of 30 boats and pilots with just under 200 shore support crew. Operations generally lasted from 1 to 2 days, with pilots either using a methamphetamine-based drug to stay awake on longer missions or caffeine-laced chocolate. In January of 1945, an attempt was made to mount an attack in the Kola Inlet in the northern part of the Soviet Union. The hope was either to attack one of the convoys that stopped there to refuel, or to attack a large Soviet battleship. As it happened, neither the battleship nor a convoy were in the port at the time of the planned attack. The plan was for U-boats to carry the Biebers within range of the harbor. 295, 318 and 716 set off on the 5th of January 1945 with Biebers mounted on their casings. But nothing went according to the original plan. Vibration from the U-boat's engines caused the Bieber's stern glands to leak, allowing water to reach the machinery space, and as a result, the mission had to be abandoned.